If you hadn't been exposed to Star Trek, how do you think your views would be different
I
in
don't know.
terms of humanity and goals?
I don't know. I might. I don't know. I might be. I don't know how to answer that question. It's like, oh, I picked the one word in the can. I don't know what it means.
Well, you don't have. You can skip it.
You could skip it and do
You could pass and do a different one if you want. Just stick it on your shirt. Don't get a shirt dirty.
I don't know. Don't get your little muskrat dirty. My little friend.
So we're back with Eric. Good to see you again.
Hi.
We're gonna do another can of words, right?
Yes.
And you're cool if we record so far?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Pick a good one.
Going down deep.
Yeah.
Deep thoughts.
The best fishing is the furthest away.
This one feels like it's been done before.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Ooh, that feels refreshing.
Oh.
Spirit / spiritual.
Spirit or spiritual?
Yeah.
What do you think of when you read or hear the word spirit or spiritual?
I think those two words have been separated enough to where they're kind of not very close anymore. Spirit is definitely, I guess there's team spirit, like the zealotry of your school for its sports teams and whatnot, or your local sports teams, and then there's like spirit as in like some sort of entity that is on a different plane. But spiritual is, I think, it pertains to things that are greater than us, that are outside of our sphere of understanding, that have influence on us, that we believe in. Like my mom's always trying to tell me that I'm a very spiritual person, but I don't agree, because I think the second there was anything that was greater than us outside of our sphere of understanding or our realm that has influence on us, and we found out what it was, it wouldn't really be spiritual anymore, because it's just a natural thing, just in a different place or whatever. I mean, it's kind of like supernatural. It's like, if you really believe in the supernatural, then it's like basically what you believe is that what we call the supernatural is actually just natural. So it's like, I don't really think I'm a spiritual person. I think that as spiritual as I get is believing that humanity has potential to be something greater than it currently is. And
What do you think that you do that causes your mom to say that you're a spiritual person?
I think she wants me to be. She did for a long time. We used to be religious. Um, but she might understand things about that word that I just never really think about. So that could also be it, you know.
So, do you think I should separate those words in the can, like have a spirit word and a spiritual word? That you think they're that different to where they require their own?
Nah, because I think it's interesting if somebody doesn't really separate the two um, in their mind, then they might want them together. I don't know, but I just don't think I'm very spiritual because I don't believe in really an afterlife or a higher purpose or anything like that. I don't believe in any sort of deity or you know.
You mentioned uh, if you had a spiritual belief, it would be that humanity has the potential to do greater things. Is that kind of what you were saying?
Yeah.
And so, what's the relationship between that hope and spirituality?
Well, I mean, it could be a bit of science fiction to think about what humanity could be in the future, what we can achieve, and we might need to harness things that we don't even know about right now in order to achieve those things. So, I don't know, it's just kind of fun to think about. And, you know, really, I think Star Trek is where it's at. Like, if we can get to that, if we can get to where humanity is traveling to other distant civilizations and encountering new life forms and stuff and not being total dickheads while we're doing it. Like that's the goal. It's I mean, I was basically raised on Star Trek, so like that's all I see when I look into the future with hope for humanity. All I see is us doing that. Because what else is there? Like I mean, once we get our own stuff figured out here, once we're no longer, jerks to each other, what else is there? We've got to then go and try not to be jerks to other types of beings and explore, you know? So, like, what else is there to do?
What's so good about the goal of having that kind of Star Trek reality?
Well, it would, if we were traveling through space, it would take all of our abilities and all of our talents and everything to make it happen, you know. And we need a challenge. We need something to do. If we don't have anything to do, it's like we watch people who retire and then they've got nothing to do because they can't use the skills that they've been developing for the past 40 years anymore. And they just feel lost and just we can't do that. Humanity can't do that. We have to have something to do. So I think that's always going to be moving up through down through the generations. Like every every generation of humanity is going to keep moving us up in what we can do and what we do. And eventually, I think it's going to take us into space. And so
Can we achieve those goals without space travel?
No.
Space space travel is required in order to meet the goals of humanity that you're talking about.
Well, we've got a lot to do here first. So, I mean, there's a lot to do. We've got to figure out all kinds of things. We got to figure out the problem of international borders. We've got to we've got to come to some consensus on economical things. I mean, there's all kinds, and we got a long way to go. I mean, so I guess don't worry about not having enough to do before space travel, because I mean,
How do we know when it's the appropriate time to start uh, focusing on space travel? Like, how do we know when we're done here?
the two things might. I mean, um, we might begin space travel before we're done here, but I think the one will assist the other. Um, Especially if we get anywhere with it. I mean, if we start getting results, if we start encountering other civilizations and whatnot, I really think it's going to make all of our troubles here just kind of look like weird, petty squabbles that they are on the grand scheme of things. Um, but
Space travel would help in the goal of having a better human society.
I think so. I mean, it'd be nice to have some outsider perspective, you know.
Let's see. Hmm. What do you think about space travel without meeting the goals here on Earth?
I just think that there's so many problems inherent in space travel that it's going to take us a long time, and I don't think that's really. I mean, yeah, it's going to take enough time to figure out space travel or interdimensional travel or whatever it ends up being the quickest way. Um, that we're going to have lots of time to have stuff shake down here first, because we got a lot of shit to get over here on Earth, you know.
It's not going to happen overnight. It's kind of what you're saying, right?
No.
How much, how much does your interest in Star Trek influence how you see humanity's goals?
Entirely, all the way. Like, that's like my entire, what do you call it, like, rubric for.
That's your standard for.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, completely is the answer to your question.
Why is that a good reason?
I give. I always say I like to give people credit for the people they want to be, and um, I think the idea that humans are going to be this, what we see on Star Trek, a team of people working together from all different backgrounds on a nice spaceship going through space, encountering, you know, other civilizations for good or bad, you know. I just think that that's it. It's an idea that has come, it was whether Gene Roddenberry cooked that up or not, or whether he got the idea from older science fiction books or not. Somebody was going to come up with the idea. It's just a natural idea. I mean, it's what we've already done. Basically, we've to some extent, there's been explorers in the past that have encountered. We have yet to encounter or meet all the people on Earth. So I mean, there's but it would be nice if we could get to the next phase and learn from what we've already done and the mistakes we've made in exploration in the past before we. So it would be really nice if space travel takes us a while, because we've got, you know, too much to do.
If you hadn't been exposed to Star Trek, how do you think your views would be different
I
in
don't know.
terms of humanity and goals?
I don't know. I might. I don't know. I might be. I don't know how to answer that question. I think I would have just gotten the same idea from somewhere else. I guess maybe. Don't know how that's possible, but
It's hard not to be exposed to Star Trek, huh?
yeah.
Anything else you want to say about spirituality, or anything else?
Well, it's funny because a lot of my ideas about spirituality come from Star Trek too, because they encounter lots of civilizations and beings who believe certain things that they can then debunk almost immediately, because they know, they can tell, they can see behind the curtain, whereas the people who believe in these things cannot, thanks to technology or whatever. And it's just, it's like Scooby Doo taught us about supernatural things. It's like supernatural things are always just somebody trying to make money off of you or off of somebody else. It's the same thing. It's like, I don't know. I think I think spirituality is kind of, um, like, as soon as you tell me that there's like something spiritual, like there's a ghost in that tree up there over there, as soon as you tell me that, I have to believe you. And then I look up in the tree and I see the thing. Well, then immediately I'd be like, well, now I don't have to believe you anymore because I could see the thing in the tree. And so now I'm like, well, either it's a hologram or something, you know, or it is a ghost. We just don't know what it is.
Your deep
It's something. It's natural somewhere. It's natural somehow. It's not like what is supernatural? Like, as soon as it's real, as soon as it's there in the tree, it's not supernatural anymore. Like,
It's like a UFO. It's not a UFO once we identify it.
well, no, it's not supernatural once we've all seen it on the news. Like, once we can verify that that is indeed an object flying through the sky, we don't know what it is. Like,
You said something earlier that I kind of made me think, like, is your default position to believe someone when they tell you something?
if I don't have a reason not to, I just sort of pursue what they're telling me to its end, or to an end where I don't have to participate in it if it's going to be a waste of time or whatever. I don't put myself in a position where these things are going to have an effect on my life, you know, like, so yeah, I'll believe somebody because it's if it's real to them, we've got to follow that lead. Maybe it is real. I don't know, you know.
Is not having a good reason to believe the opposite a good reason to believe what they tell you?
Um Are you asking me whether I have a good reason not to believe them?
No, I'm asking, if you don't have a good reason to not believe them, is that a good reason to believe them?
If somebody no, I'll believe them just for fun. Basically, I'm interested in these things. If somebody wants to tell me that they saw Yeti in their backyard and I should come over and see him because he's going to probably show up tonight, I'll go over there. You know, we'll have
Yeah.
pizza and whatever and sit
Yeah.
out there and watch for Yeti. If he shows up, then wouldn't I look like an idiot if I didn't go? Like, I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. What does it matter to me either way? It's
So
like I'm just going over there.
you're open to believing it.
Yeah. Like, what does it matter either way? And then if it's true, whoa, I saw Yeti. Like, I don't want to miss Yeti, for one thing. If I ever get to, if somebody says they know where to see him, I'm gonna go. You know, if I can, like, I want to see the thing. You know, like, I just like, now that I'm not religious, I don't have a reason to not listen to people about stuff like that, and I don't have a reason to, like, it's the same. You know, it's like,
What is a good reason to believe someone?
just for fun. It's interesting. People believe in stuff to make their lives more interesting. Like, because how boring would it be if we were just, it's just us on this planet and we have a bunch of lawyers and crap and it's just boring as hell. And like octopuses are the coolest things we have. Like, and we already know everything about them because there's like 20 documentaries about them on Netflix right now. Like, nothing, there's nothing weird out there. There's nothing left. Like, maybe something in the Marianas Trench that we haven't seen yet. Or, like, we need UFOs. We need Yeti. We need Dracula. We need everything because, like, that's just something, there's something about us that needs that stuff. I think that's where religion comes from in part. Like, doesn't explain why the Bible stories were so boring, but, you know, I mean, there was supernatural stuff in the Bible stories, like when Moses or Aaron turned his staff into a stick or a snake, or whatever, and then the Pharaoh's men were turning their staffs into snakes, and then the snakes fought. I mean, that was about as good as it got for those stories, but I mean, people want to believe in angels and they want to believe. I think people with maybe a sunnier disposition like to believe in things that are nice and like Jesus is watching them and angels and fairies and stuff like that. And then there's this different type of people that want to believe that there's a werewolf out there somewhere, you know, because that's fun, you know. I don't know. But UFOs, I mean, I don't really believe in UFOs. I think that they're either a hoax or something we just don't understand on our playback on the recording. I mean, because I've seen some of the footage and it just does look like a Tic Tac or whatever. Maybe, who knows what that is? Maybe it's some weird feedback in the recording or something. I don't know. You know, like,
Could believing something because it's fun be harmful?
maybe, I don't know. I mean, we drink things because it's fun and that's harmful. Yeah, maybe. I mean, yes. Yes, that's, the answer is yes.
Questions from the audience? Questions for me?
No.
Cool. That was fun.
Did we go over 20 minutes?
Maybe.
Okay, we should stop.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
I know people like to hear things about Bigfoot, so I'd throw them in there.
Yeah, thanks.
Just have the title on that one just be Star Trek, UFOs, Bigfoot, Dracula,
Angels,
angels,
Jesus.
snakes.
It's really coming down.
much everything you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, we ran it through the gamut.
Covered it all. No, but seriously, I do. Like, if people tell me their ghost stories or whatever, I just believe them. Like, I mean, I don't know if I really believe. If you hook me up to a lie detector, maybe I don't actually believe it. But if somebody tells me their like family ghost story, you know, that's like everybody. A lot of people have those, and it's just sort of like, okay. I mean, I don't want to do the I believe you saw something and you believe it's a ghost. I don't want to do that because then people get pissed off when you talk down to them like that. But you know, ghost stories are fun. It's scary. Did you ever go ghost hunting? You ever go ghost hunting? Yeah, do that? They have groups that go in like Seattle and stuff.
Yeah.
They go to like an old graveyard or whatever.
It's really coming down.
Yeah.
Fun. Did we see anything? No. There was one guy that showed up in like tactical gear and everything, and he had like his special flashlight. It was great. Alright,
Cool.
don't big steal this thing.
Thanks. Cool. Well, enjoy the rest of the day.
I will. Now I'm really thirsty.